Sure, folks. Another video here. Back to back. This guy. This is another reaction. This is more like a reaction. This guy's named Steve Ram. This guy has a lot of videos of World War III. And I don't know. Looked at his page, and he has a lot of videos with World War III. I don't know if this is like fear mongering or is this real? Should we take this seriously? Take this guy seriously? I don't know. Well, let's take a look. This guy's
video footage on this, and if this unfolds, it essentially would be the end of mankind. About 99% would not survive, and if you're not vaporized by a nuclear bomb, well, you're going to wish you were, because what comes afterwards with a nuclear winter is absolutely incredible. Now, I'm going to be sharing with you the latest, and take a look at the headlines coming out on this. Russia warns nuclear weapons threat is becoming more dire. This coming out in the past 48 hours. Maps show Biden's new nuclear bomb compared to most powerful U.S. weapon, as last week Biden also unveiled a new nuclear bomb plan that they have as well, because there is a lot happening right now with war. And take a look at this. Putin pulls Russia out of the nuclear test ban treaty. The U.S. signed a comprehensive nuclear test ban treaty with Russia in 1996, but failed to ratify the treaty as Russia did in
This is old news, folks. This is already old news. I think we forgot about this, though, I guess. This is very old news here. But let's go on.
2000, and you guys, things are intensifying, and this is all surrounding the conflict with Israel and Hamas in the Middle East. In Russia, Iran, and other countries are blaming the U.S. because we stand by Israel as their ally, and they're saying that if the United States did not support Israel, Russia, Iran, and these other nations would be able to end the conflict against Israel. Now, I know these headlines are not the news that anybody wants to see.
Is that really true? I don't know. I don't know, man. Seems like it's wishful thinking that Russia would end there'll be some kind of thing going on. Maybe they'll try at least. But will they really end the conflict? I don't know. Seems like but you trust Putin's word, though. This guy is not a good guy. You know that. I'm mindful of that. Like, these guys are not good guys, including the U.S., by the way. So, will it be an effort to end everything, the occupation, everything, and be peace, two-state solution, like we all want it? I want a two-state solution. I'll say this now. You can say I'm a Zionist, but I don't care. I believe in right now it should be both two states. In other words. But anyways, you can call me a Zionist, but I'm not a complete. Like the real Zionist, though, there's only one state solution. That's the real Zionist. But I believe there should be a state. I mean, I've grown up there all my life saying that, doing this. I believe in that, and I'm still gonna believe it. It should be a state, but now it should be a two-state. I always believed that too. Well, now one time I didn't believe that. In fact, when I was younger, I didn't believe that. But now I do. I believe there's a two-state. Well, for a long time, actually. For many years. I believe the two-state. But I'm going to go on.
However, as you guys know here on the channel, I believe that knowledge is power, and us knowing what is going on is half of the battle. So I'm going to be sharing with you the latest coming out, and if you appreciate that, do me a quick favor, smash the like button. If you want to stay up to date, it's totally free. Why not hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell. If you want to become a member, you can hit the join button. And also wanted to share with you my social media platforms as well. They are on the screen. If you'd like to join me on Instagram, TikTok, you can do so. But let's go ahead and take a look at this. I'm going to get you caught up on the latest that's been coming out in the past 48 hours. Now we're going to look at some footage here in just a second, but first, Russia warns nuclear weapons threat is becoming more dire. This coming out in the past 48 hours. A Russian official has warned that nuclear threats made by Israeli officials in relations to the war in Gaza is becoming more escalatory, calling them provocative and unacceptable. Russia Foreign Minister spokeswoman Maria Zakharova has commented numerous times this week regarding Israel's nuclear arsenal, with her most recent remarks expressed on Thursday claiming that such provocative statements associated with nuclear use is proof that Israel has such weapons in its stockpile. Israel's far-right heritage minister, Amachai Elayanhu, was suspended on Sunday by Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, so they suspended him for what he said following comments made on a radio show. He suggested that atomic weapons could be one option to target Hamas militants in the ongoing war in the Middle East, and I shared with you they said that they could drop a nuclear...
Yeah, so he's the guy that, somebody said that before, like, they said they should drop a bomb on Gaza, nuclear bomb. So that's where this came from, I guess. So this is the guy who did it. Okay, who said that?
Nuclear bomb or an atomic weapon in the underground tunnels to rid themselves of Hamas, but they said, what would be the ramifications of doing so? It would be devastating. Vatlatali Gottlieb, a member of Israel's parliament, has also made calls for Israel to resort to a doomsday weapon to target those responsible for killing thousands and taking hostages on October 7th. She specifically referenced Jericho ballistic missile program that was developed in 1960s. Against the background of Israel's historical policy of uncertainty regarding its possessions of nuclear weapons, these statements not only clearly confirm the presence of such weapons in the country, but also demonstrate the readiness to seriously consider the possibility to use them in completely inappropriate scenarios, she said on Thursday, according to Russia's state-owned media network TASS. She added, this is a serious reason to think about where the extremist-minded representatives of Israel may end up as they realize that they can do anything in the conditions of virtually...
I think it's interesting because Russia, Putin, is very fond of Israel. Now all of a sudden, with this war, he's against them, I guess. So, interesting here.
Unlimited
that was never the case though, like, going back to the Soviet Union, they were like, I guess they were against Israel. And some were oppressed, the Russian Jews. They were oppressed at one time or another. I mean,
patronage from the West. In other words, again, they are blaming the United States for this. The Russian foreign minister posted on X, formerly Twitter, that the U.S. is blocking peace initiatives for the ceasefire in Gaza. And here you can see it right here, the U.S. blocking peace initiatives for a ceasefire in Gaza, as well as its one-sided policy to maintain the status quo over the past years that have led to higher risks of radicalization, increased terrorist activity, and geographical expansion of the conflict. So now Russia, in addition to Iran, have vocalized that what is going on in the Middle East, they blame the United States for...
No, it's good. He's saying that Russia and Iran now are kind of teaming up. And then there's China. Well, what's his name said it before, actually. Russia and China. With wrestler, what's his name? Preston? The guy in the... I have in another video of him. This other guy, this general. I think he's a general. Ex-general. He's saying that, yeah, Russia and China. But now he was saying that there's going to be something going on. The US is going to change. They're going to tell Israel to make to end this, to start a ceasefire, and there's going to be it's going to be negotiations. They're going to end all this, the occupation and everything. It's going to be a start. That's what he's saying. What's his name? Wrestler, right? The general. The damn video. I have it in one of my videos. This guy. But that seems pie in the sky. Like this is gonna be going on at least a little bit more. I don't know, folks. Maybe another month. Now they're doing the ground troops, so we'll see. But this guy is saying that he's saying the opposite of what he's talking about. Now he's saying that this is a nuclear war. The Russians, they're gonna use nuclear war, and they're gonna retaliate with a nuclear. I don't know. He's saying Russia is gonna retaliate. I guess if Israel, is there a chance that they're gonna use it? I mean, if there's safety protocols, I don't think Netanyahu's gonna do that. He's not gonna bomb Gaza. This is fear mongering.
For this.
This is fear mongering.
And we've heard from
This is fear mongering, kind of, folks.
Iran saying, United States, you will be hit hard, and do not think that you will be spared from our fire when we come and attack. And we actually just heard in the past 24 hours, Iran say that the expansion of this war is essentially imminent, that this war will continue on, and that they will be hitting other nations. Now, Arkady Moshes, program director for the EU Eastern Neighborhood and Russia Research.
Seeing that they have cells, so that's what the CIA guys, FBI guys are saying. They have cells in the US, Hamas, and Iran. Maybe that's what they're talking about. Maybe Iran, but I don't know, Hamas. I think it's kind of a propaganda thing. I don't know if that's really true or not. They have cells. But certainly there will be cells. There will be reaction to this. If this war keeps going on, there's going to be, eventually, you're going to get people radicalized, even in the US. You're going to get people radicalized. At least we've seen it in 9/11. In the Iraq War, you've seen that. We created ISIS. They bombed Iraq. And then people were radicalized. And then you have terrorists, homemade terrorists by the USA. Even in Afghanistan, it didn't need to happen. They would have handed over bin Laden, first of all, and Bush could have gotten bin Laden. He was in the mountains. They could have get him. Special forces. Instead of bombing people, innocent lives, could have saved innocent lives. And soldiers' lives, too. But that's another thing anyways, folks.
Program at the Finnish Institute of International Affairs told Newsweek via email that Zarkova's remarks may simply be part of Russia's playbook that absolves itself from its own culpability based on the nation's consistent nuclear threats made in its invasion of Ukraine back in February of 2022. So they're saying they're actually guilty of exactly what it is they're accusing the US and Israel of. In other words, they're being very hypocritical at this time. Moscow may simply see an opportunity to blame Israel and the West or the U.S., and some countries may find this criticism appropriate and even convincing, Moshe said. This does not need to be connected with Russia's own actions in the nuclear sphere. The United States was brought up with Zarkova in relation to her comments, essentially viewing the nation as complicit by conniving with the supporting Israel as an ally. Now, such views have been shared with the U.S., including by a number of members of Congress, including the only political Palestinian descendant, Democrat Rashida Tlaib, who has repeatedly called for the Biden administration to institute a ceasefire. Now, the White House did gain some ground in regard to that on Thursday, as I reported to you. However, as Israel agreed to implement daily 4-hour humanitarian pauses in northern Gaza starting Thursday, announcements will be made 3 hours before the pauses commence. National Security Council spokesman John Kirby told reporters Thursday that the move by Israel is a significant step forward in the right direction, including the protection of civilians. And this comes as the Biden administration unveiled a new nuclear bomb. They're saying it's the most powerful one that we have seen so far. Now, if this were detonated, you can see the blast radius, and they're showing this in New York, so you can see how far this would spread. Now, within the first about half a mile, they're saying that anybody in the vicinity would be vaporized along with buildings, and then extending beyond that for miles, there would be a blast of radiation. There would also be a smoke plume, and the effects of this would be devastating. And you can see the extent of which it would reach If this were to hit New York, it would reach all the way up to New Brunswick. Now, if a full-scale nuclear attack were to take place, if Russia were to launch these, it would immediately notify the United States and we would launch back, trying to block them. However, there are so many that would take place.
Russia would. So you think if Israel bombs Gaza, so you said Russia would bomb Israel? I mean, Russia would bomb. So there'd be full out war. So they'll bomb US or Russia. Or I guess you're saying Russia. Okay, Russia. So they'd bomb Israel, and then US would bomb Russia. Then Russia would attack, will bomb, will be all over. I guess they'll bomb the US to the west. Well, most likely they'll bomb Israel. They'll bomb US and Israel. Because they know that if they do launch something, they launch a nuclear missile at Israel, then the US will eventually launch, in that instant, they probably they launch one at, because none of the Iron Dome is going to protect them. Say nuclear blast, so even if it does, knocks it out, is the blast in their air, or explodes in the air anyways, but higher up, how it's going to blast, it's still going to be powerful enough to destroy Israel, or even that, I mean. And eventually they're going to launch, there can be missiles launched at the US, and Russia's going to, and the US is going to launch at Russia eventually. Well, they know that. They probably launch, yeah. But you know that they're going to launch, there's going to be an attack. So they might launch it both, US and Israel, at the same time, I guess. So, oh my God, this is crazy. I don't know, it's not going to get to that, folks. At least not right now. I think if it really gets really bad, like really, really bad, then you got Pakistan is in there. You got also not just Russia. So I was thinking Pakistan, India. I think India is a friend to Israel. I'm not sure. Pakistan is Muslim, so that might be a different thing there. But I don't know, folks.
Likely that this could be stopped. Now, these would likely not only go for their targets, but defense areas and also for allies. So expect that Europe and other nations would be hit as well. Now, the first indication that nuclear war would be happening would be an EMP taking place. One of these would detonate in the air, knocking out all electrical signals and essentially bringing down defenses. Then the nuclear weapons would come in and they would hit their targets, causing massive devastation in those areas. Now, as these missiles fly across the globe, they could take half an hour up to an hour to hit their targets, but when they finally make impact, there will be a heat equivalent to that of the sun that would vaporize those within a half a mile. The intensity of the heat would be so great that the asphalt of the streets would turn into liquid lava. And those not vaporized that are too close to the blast will also be blinded by its brightness and likely caught on fire. But as I mentioned, that's not the worst part. If you actually survive the blast, the worst part is the nuclear winter that's going to be coming from the black carbon smoke pillars that will come from these detonations. Now, the carbon from the blast, the smoke, it would cover the earth, it would raise above the rain clouds, so it would be unable to wash out, and it would likely sit upon the face of the earth for over a decade. This would block out the sun and the moon, and it would cause a nuclear winter, and the temperature of the earth would likely decrease by around 40 degrees Fahrenheit all over. This would also destroy the ocean, destroy our crops, and it's likely that 99% of the population that survived the blasts would not make it due to starvation. Now, the explosions that took place in Hiroshima were extremely powerful. However, the weapons that we are seeing today are multiple times more powerful and would cause much more devastation. So if this takes place, there are no real winners. It is essentially the end of the vast majority of mankind, and those that do survive would have to somehow figure out how to continue on. Now, in regards to the United States, we've already received warnings that there could be attacks on U.S. soil, and that those from Hamas have already made their way in through the southern border over the past couple of years.
Oh, no, that's not even... See, he's saying this bullshit. Southern border. This guy's really, he's one of those... He's probably Republican, most likely. He's an anti-war, though. Good thing one thing about his anti-war, I think he's a Republican. He believes that, he believes in the border shit, the open borders. There's open borders. That's what he believes. I didn't say he's a Republican. He's kind of conservative. He could be a MAGA. He's the one that Trump. Interesting with Trump. Like, he has a lot of supporters. He's a Trump guy. Because a lot of his videos are with Biden, he knows that. I think there's maybe they had some with Trump, I'm not sure. He might have. But he's more of a MAGA. But he's a anti-war guy. That's what I think. He probably voted for Trump. He voted for Trump because he was a Trump voter. He voted because of anti-war. See, there's a lot of anti-war Trump voters. See, that's why these people went for Trump. Because these other Republicans are pro-war. Because they debate the other day. So it's interesting. But he believes in the open borders. I mean, garbage. There's a problem here. I don't know if this is real or not, folks. See, attack to the US, FBI now confirms attacks on US soil. Is that really true? There's no attack on US for where? This is made up, folks. Bullshit. I don't believe that. There could be attacks. That's what they're warning. There might be cells. That's what he gets from the FBI. I don't believe this. The director is bullshit. He's a conservative. Director of the FBI? I don't believe that. See, they're trying to drum up this war and terror again. It seems like. Bringing back this. But it's actually terrorists and the Nazis, the white supremacists. The far-right terrorists. They always downplay that, and they're trying to make it go back to the war and terror. That's what they're trying to do, folks. In fact, I think they made more money on that. Defense contractors. See, this guy could be a shill. Could be an FBI, CIA plant. Look at these fear-mongering, making U.S. citizens worldwide travel alert. U.S. issues. Is that true? Travel alert? I don't know, read that to where. Looking at these posts he has.
And they are currently planning a strategic attack in various cities around the nation. Now, to get the latest on that and the list of cities that are on the FBI's watch list, be sure to check out these videos right here next. And I'll keep you up to speed on everything as it comes out, you guys.
Bullshit. I don't believe that.
Thank you so much for joining me. I'll catch you in the next video. Take care. God bless. This is Steve.
Acorn TV brings
And that's it, folks.